Alright, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good evening to everyone. So for today, we will discuss about biodiversity problem around the world, and our group choose to discuss about ocean acidification locks algal communities in a simplified state. Before I go further into the discussion, I would like to introduce me and my members. First, my name is Fauza Amani binti Muhammad Taha, matric number 197635. Next, Shafiq will introduce himself.
Next, my name is Muhammad Syafiq bin Saidun. My matric number 199400. So next, Sofia Arisha.
Hello, my name is Sofia Arisha binti CSD. My matrix number is 198292. And the last one, Amir.
Okay, my name is Amir Shafiq bin Zainal Abidin and my matrix number is 199401.
Alright, thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for introducing yourself. So without further ado, I will continue with the history of the ocean. As you can see in the brochure, it is reliably bringing people across the ocean since 1981. The researchers have found that ocean acidification limits algal communities to a state of low diversity and complexity. Communities growing in waters rich in carbon dioxide, CO2, were dominated by turf algae and had low biodiversity, ecological complexity, and biomass. Communities grown under acidic conditions and then transferred to waters that weren't CO2 enriched increase their biodiversity and complexity, showing that they can recover if CO2 emissions are significantly reduced. Next, I will pass to Shafiq to explain more about what's happening in this topic.
So I'm gonna continue about the what happening. So based on the topic, we can see that now the oceanic carbon dioxide have level rate, which is ocean acidification is the continuous increasing in the acidity of the earth ocean caused by the absorption of atmospheric carbon dioxide CO2. So next is the biodiversity and ecological complexity of marine algal communities decline. And the last one, the communities had lower diversity, complexity, and biomass. Actually, it has a lot of happening. So the study from Professor Ben P. Harvard said that ocean acidification is harmful to a lot of different marine organisms. So next, I'm going to pass to Sofia Rishal to present about the effect.
Okay, thank you, Shafiq. So when we talk about the effects, this is a very important matter and should be taken into consideration in every single aspect. So the first effects may be towards marine organisms and ecosystem. So the first one is increase the growth rates of some algae and seagrass. Some algae and seagrass may benefit from higher carbon dioxide concentrations in the ocean as they may increase their photosynthetic and growth rate. And the second one is the shells and skeletons of the animals may become less dense or strong. As you know, the more acidic environment will harm other marine species such as mollusks, corals, and some varieties of plankton. In the case of coral reef, this may make them more vulnerable to storm damage and slow the recovery rate. The third one is the changes the growth of marine organisms. So marine organisms could also experience changes in growth, development, abundance, and survival in response to ocean acidification. As you know, most species seem to be more vulnerable in their early life stages, right? So like juvenile fish, for example, may have trouble in locating suitable habitat to live. And next, effects, more focus on human societies. So which is the first one is food security. Ocean acidification has the potential to affect food security. Commercially and ecologically important marine species will be impacted, although they may respond in different ways. Mollusks such as oyster and mussels are among the most sensitive groups. By 2100, the global annual cost of mollusk loss from ocean acidification could be over 100 billion US dollar for a business as usual carbon dioxide emission pathway. And next is coastal protection. Marine ecosystems such as coral reef protect shorelines from the destructive action of storm surge and cyclones, sheltering the only habitable land for several island nations. This protective function of reef prevent loss of life, property damage, and erosion, and has been valued at 9 billion US dollar per year. And the last one is carbon storage and climate regulation. The capacity of the ocean to absorb carbon dioxide decreases as ocean acidification increases. And as you know, the more acidic ocean are less effective in moderating climate change. And next is, Amir, what do you think that we can do to reduce this issue?
Thank you, Sophia. For me, what we can do is, as we know, the ocean acidification come from mainly caused by the rises of the carbon dioxide in the ocean. So this carbon dioxide mainly came from the fossil fuel emission, which is such as like oil, fuel, and gases. So if we reduce the usage of the fossil fuel, it will reduce the fossil fuel emission and control the carbon dioxide emission in the ocean. And second is build the resilience of tropical marine ecosystem, which mean uh, they put in somewhere place that the ecosystem that can build an ecosystem that can resistant and tolerant to maybe higher acidity in the ocean water, so that can the ecosystem can be more sustained for a longer period. Yeah, that's all from me. Yeah, that I think that can sustain the acidification in the ocean.
Right. Thank you everyone for your explanation by each part. So we hope that by our explanation, I'm sorry, it's raining out there. By our explanation, you will know further into what kind of biodiversity problem we are facing right now, because most of the topic is actually been taken from research from University Tsubaya University from Japan, on how their scientists calculated on how high the level of CO2 in the sea, and what kind of effect it impacted on the algal communities. We hope that by our explanation, everyone can understand where is happening, what we can do as a community, what is the main problem, main issues, and yeah, that's all. I think we can conclude now. Thank you everyone for giving your time today, and I hope that next time we can sit down and discuss about another topic. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Thank you
everyone.
everyone.